guys, it's Coach Fro from RocioFlores.com, and today's topic is how and why you should be using short links. So this video is aimed more at people who are in the business world, online world, content creation world, affiliate marketing, etc. Right? So if you're somebody who's sharing links often online, this video is for you. But on the other hand, I also think that people in general should be using short links because it's just not 2005 anymore. We don't need to share 3 pages worth of digits in order to share a website. But long websites still exist, and short links are just shorter versions of the same link. So there are programs that will allow you to take a really, really long URL and give you like this mini version of it where you can then share that with people, and they don't have to try and copy and paste this giant thing. They don't have to try to remember the entire thing. They can just enter the short link and it takes them to where they want to be. So I think that this is uber helpful for all business people who are sharing links online, but in general, like, everyone should be doing it.
Before I begin, I want to invite you to subscribe to my monthly newsletter. There I share the month's blog posts. I talk a little bit about what I've been going through in my own life and how what I learned can help you with your own personal journey. I also send you a ton of health, career, and personal development freebies. The link will be in the description below, so make sure that you get on there.
So why is this important? I think that this is important, first and foremost, because it's just convenient. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in school, like, especially my generation, which was one of the first generations that, was really using the internet. Our teachers used to give us like, you guys have to go to this website to do this project or whatever. And we'd have to type it out one by one, like 7 dash, small j, big J, this number, this letter, this, whatever it was. And you had to type that whole thing out in order to get to the website to do the work that you had to do. These days, I'm sure it's a little easier. Like, I would hope that teachers like send you an email or something that's just like you click on the link versus having to like write it out in the browser. But back in the day, it wasn't that way. And so maybe it's my memories of that have made the whole short link thing important to me. Also because I'm probably a little more lazy. Like, I don't want to have to put in that extra work to remember an extra long URL and to try to get to it and blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing. There's a good chance that the people that you're talking to online are the same way. There's a good chance that they don't feel like putting in that extra work. And there's also tons of restrictions on a lot of sites that don't even allow you to click on links. For example, on Instagram, you can't click on the link in the description section of your picture, and you also can't click on any links in the comments. And I see big names still doing that to this day, where they put out like their latest blog post, or they want to share a really important resource, and they have a huge link like blah 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 blah, and people can't copy and paste it. So for them to go to the website, what they would have to do is hold their phone, because remember, you can't copy and paste, so you can't leave the site either. So you can't like click on it and take it. I mean, at least on Facebook you can copy the link, or on other websites you can copy the link, then go to it on your phone. You can't do that with that kind of site. You have to go to a computer and sit there and look at the phone and click. Or you gotta take like a screenshot and then go back and forth between the screenshot and the browser on your phone. So it's a lot of work. And people don't want to do that. They just don't care that much. And that's an issue. Especially if you're branding yourself, your business, you're trying to put out awareness about a specific issue, and you're really caring about getting people to the right place. Well, they're just not going to do it if they can't get to it quickly. If it's hard for them to do it, they're probably going to pass it up. They're like, I'll do it later. How many people come back to it, right? They're going to forget. I know I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this sounds really interesting. Or I see somebody who's posts like a new recipe and I'm like, that looks really good. And then I'm like, oh, I'll have to go look for it. Nah, I'll do it later. And then I forget about it later. I go to a different site later. Or I click on somebody else's link later. Or I just Google it later and it goes to somebody else. This is a big issue for people who are doing affiliate marketing, right? So if you are somebody who is sharing your specific links that are affiliated with you, and you're trying to sell off of that link, right? You're going to get a commission if people click on that link. And they didn't, because the link was too hard, and they're like, I'm not even going to try. And it wasn't something where you could just enter in your coupon code or anything like that. Well, then the person's just going to Google the website later. They're going to go through somebody else's link, through the main company's link, and you're not going to get any of that commission from it. So you should probably be thinking of the other person who's actually looking at the link. And if it's something really big, use a short link. It's just so much easier. Another thing that is really helpful when it comes to creating short links is the fact that you're creating a memory in people's minds. So for example, for all of my resource lists, I have resources that are titled exactly what they are so that people know exactly what they're getting and it's something they can remember later. So for example, bit.ly/stress anxiety resources. Very simple because I talked to them about stress and anxiety and I told them, well, here I have a list of resources that are specifically about how to manage stress and cope with anxiety. So now they know what it is, and then here's a short link for it, bit.ly/stress anxiety resources. Simple. Now let's say later on in the day, maybe that's not something that they went to right away, maybe it's not something they felt like clicking at the moment, but later they're freaking out because they're having a moment of panic or they're having a struggle with something that has to do with that, and they're like, didn't somebody send me a link? Oh, I'm gonna type it in exactly the she remembers. It's stress anxiety resources. Click on it, takes them directly to it. It's a lot easier to remember that than 77352 and then you have all these letters and numbers. It's harder to remember that even if you do know how the person's website is set up. So for example, for my website, for my blog post, it will give me my name. It says rocioflores.com/single post/ the name of the thing. That's a lot of slashes. And when you're looking for something, it's actually kind of hard. So usually I'll share that link, but I will also say, go to the link in my bio because that's an easy thing to click. It's a lot easier to click something that's clickable or something that you can easily type into the browser. So memory helps. Another huge part of the memory part is that you can brand yourself. If you are able to send people directly to things that have your name in them or that are associated with who you are, with your brand, with what you help people with, then they remember you. Guess what? Now you're the first person that comes to their mind when they want to do something, because they don't have to think about what do I Google and how do I find the right site and who's that person that knows how to do this. They remember that you're somebody who shares these things often and that you probably have a nice handy website available, easily clickable, easily findable, right? So it's part of your brand. It's a really simple thing that you can do to brand yourself. It's a really simple thing to put yourself in people's minds. It's very simple and it doesn't take long. Overall too, it just looks nicer, right? And that's part of branding. It's part of memory. It's part of convenience. People like things that look pretty, that are aesthetically pleasing. So it just makes things a little easier. So how do you go about doing this? You're like, okay, what's a short link? So there are a lot of websites that will actually do this for you. I won't go into details as to what's the best website or what websites there are, because I'm sure there's tons of them. There's a few that I use or that I know of that are, like if you Google it, you would find those easily. I'll put those in the description below. But basically what happens is you grab your link. So you are on a website, right? And you copy and paste the URL. You enter it into that program and it gives you a short URL, a mini one. And there's several things you can do from that point on. So usually, most of these programs will give you a generic short URL. So for example, Bitly will give you bit.ly/J72K1, something that's like a 5-digit, 6-digit code. Well, that in itself is much, much, much easier to share than the original 30-digit link. But it's still sort of too generic. It's not something that people are going to remember later on in the day. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I need to go to bit.ly/731. What number was it? You just forget. So most of these programs will actually give you the ability to change the name. And as long as it's not a name that's been taken before, you can use it. So with that, you do have to choose a name for it. So for example, my YouTube link for my YouTube is huge. So I don't have a branded one yet. And even if I had a branded one, they're still really long. So I just did bit.ly/Rose YouTube. Because that's very simple for people to be like, oh, whose YouTube is it? Rose. So very simple. On the other end, you can put in a little more information, or you might need to change up some of the words depending on if it's something that other people have used. Obviously my name's not as common as other people's names, but like if you put marketing strategies, trust me, there are a ton of people who already use marketing strategies 1, marketing strategies 2, marketing strategies experts. Like there's a lot of the people who are using the same thing. So it might just be a matter of you changing, like make it my marketing strategies or make it Rose marketing strategies or stuff like that, because then it's something that one still stays within the brand, still stays within the you of it. You know, you're the one sharing this. And it also doesn't, it's not going to be easily confused with somebody else's links, because I've clicked on it where I accidentally made a very generic name and then I didn't spell it right, or added an S at the end or something like that, and then it took me to somebody else's completely different website. It just happened that they used that same name. So you do want to be careful with the naming of it. And then there are also websites that will allow you to create your own link, so your own mini link. And I do suggest that you do this at a point where you have a brand, where you understand what your brand is, and it's prudent, and you know, it's something that you can actually afford, and it's something that you can do within your business. So, you know, I don't think it's the most important thing in the world to do if you're still in the beginning stages of your business, but it is something that you can do. It's something that's fun. Basically, you would create your own links. So like Bitly allows you to do that, where you can, it's like the next premium level, and you could do like road.flow, or, you know, something like rf.com, or they'll allow you to choose within mini domain names that are within your brand. So I will actually link a full website on descriptions that is specifically for that, where it teaches you it shows you how to create your own. So like if you wanted to just put road.co or something, you know, I could do little cute ones like that. And then you just choose whatever's available, and then now all of your links are 100% branded just for you. Now you can just put the name of whatever it is, right? That's a little easier, because now you don't have to think about, did somebody use the term marketing strategies, or did somebody use online marketing, or, because it's all under your name. So that's very much branded, a whole lot easier to remember. And then it's really cutesy, because people like you, and they know you, and they know it's from you, and then they, you know, it's really easy for them to find. So it just makes it all easier. So why you should do it? Because it's more convenient in general for everyone. It'll be more convenient for you too when you want to recall, you know, what you want to send someone. It's a lot easier for the memory, and it helps you with branding, and there's lots of ways to do it. So there are some more techie ways to do it. I know that, for example, you can redirect your site, and you could create specific links where you like get those links to go through your site, and then there's a lot that goes into that. I think that's a lot more complicated. If that's something that you want to do, go click on somebody's YouTube who knows how to do that, and you can learn about that. I think personally, I just go for whatever's the simplest, because I want it to be something that's convenient. I don't want it to be something that takes me an hour to do every time. I want it to be something that I can do on the spot when somebody needs a link and I want to send it to them, or I can just be like, here, this is simple. So go for what's simple, go for what helps you and actually makes it your life a little bit easier.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, please like it, comment, react, subscribe, text, email, whatever it is that you do online. Thank you and have a blessed day. Goodbye.